Your favorite artist right now is probably as much a character as they are a musician. Think about it. The visual identity, the aesthetic, the whole world around music that used to cost a fortune to build. A photographer, a stylist, a creative director, a designer. It was months of work and thousands for one rollout. So today, I'm going to show you how you can build an entire visual identity around a single photo. It could be your artist photo. It could be a photo you generated with AI if you don't have one. And it becomes a fully stylized character. Not a filter, not a tweaked portrait, an actual animated alter ego that can live across your entire release cycle. Whether it's Spotify Canvas, a lyric video, your social media content, or even taking your cover art. I'm going to show you 3 different character styles so that you could see which one fits for you. Cell shaded anime main character. It could be a 3D like pop mart cute style, or cyberpunk anime for the darker side. All from the same starting photo, same workflow, totally different worlds. And along the way, I'll drop the consistency trick that makes all of this actually work and how to keep your character looking like your character across every scene, every asset, and every release. So let's get into it. One of the first things as we talked about, right? If you want to turn yourself into a character, you want to turn an artist into a character, or come up with something completely from scratch, you need a way to be able to do this. Now, what characters are we talking about? Here's an example character that we created all from just a prompt as an example, or you can do it from an image. And I'm going to show you live how we do this together. So here's, you've got one. This is a cell shaded anime main character, young woman with long flowing dark hair. Awesome. The next one, we've got a cute 3D pop mart style character. Like, look at this. Just look how cute this character right here could be, like a little toy that you can create. I'm going to teach you how to make these. Here's another one. This one's like that like cyberpunk anime style. You got the pink that glows in the background, but just look at the character in the middle. Now, it could be something like a superhero character, or it could be something normal, like an artist performing across the street. It doesn't matter. But what if we wanted to try something like clay motion, like stop motion style character? This is like some old grizzled guy with a bushy mustache, oversized trench coat. You can see that here. I'm going to show you how to make these. This is again another representation of the cell shaded anime style. Here's another example of the clay motion stop style. Here's another one. Again, I just want to show you how the world and how we can create characters completely from scratch. And look, these are 2 different characters, right? You have a cute 3D toy style girl. Her name is Astrid. And then you've got this one, Astro's Melodies. Lots of different styles. Then once we create some of these characters, we are going to turn them into motion video, okay? Because these could become scenes for either a music video, it could be scenes for different clips that you're going to post on TikTok or Instagram, or you can use them in different ways. So this is just an example bringing one of the characters to life. Here's another one. This is taking the cyberpunk one. You can see how we brought this one to life just with the glow. And by the way, with prompting, you can have the character walk down the street. You can have the character fighting. You can have the character performing on stage. Okay. And we'll show examples on how we can. Here's an example of the clay motion character just walking down the path, right? And you can see how it goes through with some sort of like stop motion effect. How cool is that? Does anybody want to create any of these characters? Does this look like something interesting you want to give a shot? All the work that we're going to do today, all the workflows I'm going to show you is on visuals.fm, okay? We're going to teach you the prompts. We're going to show you the workflow, how to create these AI characters. You can use it with your music. You can use it with a source image. Today, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to go here and click cover art and images, okay? So this is where you can generate images, ads, cover arts, anything for your content. Once you get in here, you'll see like these are all the ones that I showed you a little bit earlier, right? But we want to create one brand new. Now, I'm going to come in here. There's a couple things. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to grab a reference image, okay? I'm going to take a screenshot from one of my previous episodes. This is me. This was one of my previous episodes of Insider Live, okay? It's a static photo. I just took a screenshot from my YouTube channel because I needed something that I can use for our demo today. So I just grabbed a screenshot. Very easy, turnkey. And what we're going to do is we're going to use that as a reference image, okay? So if you want to build a character, you could do it with a prompt. Okay, you can explain, hey, I'm thinking of a character. It's a little girl. She's wearing a coat, and just describe it. And you can create a character completely from scratch. Okay, or you can do one with a reference image. And you know what? I'm going to show you both. So one, I'm going to show you with my reference image, and I'm going to turn me into a character, and we're going to give it a shot live. Okay, that way you guys could see what it looks like, because this is a great avenue to be able to take content to turn it. So I have a prompt that I already wrote, and I want to show you what that looks like, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. Now I'm going to zoom in and I paste it in there. I'm going to say transform the person in the uploaded photo into a cel shaded anime main character. Keep the facial features, hair, and overall likeness clearly recognizable. Bold, clean line work, saturated colors, dramatic anime lighting with rim light on the edges of the hair and jawline. Show a half-body front-facing hero shot against a soft gradient background. Modern streetwear outfit that matches the energy of the original photo. Strong main character presence. All right. So I don't expect that you are going to always come up with these prompts 100% with all the details. You can give it as much or as little detail as you want. I'm going to show you an example of one that I had pre-prepared. That way you guys get an idea of what it looks like, okay? Now, here you could choose from different AI models, okay? We've covered this on different sessions. For now, we're going to stick with Nano Banana 2. Great, it's cost effective, but does amazing results with character consistency. Then the image quality, we're going to stick at, again, you could do 1K or 2K quality. Okay, I'm going to go 1K to show you what that looks like. It's also a little bit faster. And then aspect ratio, in this case, we're creating scenes for video. So I'm going to do landscape, all right? This would be something, let's say, that you could put on YouTube. But if you wanted to, you could go and select like a 9:16 vertical or all the other sizes that we support, okay? So I'm going to ignore a lot of these settings, but you could add, if you have like a mood or a setting, if you wanted to influence what the image was and styles. But right now, what I'm doing is I'm just playing around with my prompt, my reference image, and I'm going to go ahead and hit create. While that one's creating, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up a new tab so I can generate another image. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to create just an AI artist, all right? Something that just doesn't exist. And the way I like to do that is just to speak out loud. A casual, candid photo of a young musician in their early 20s leaning against a brick wall outside a small venue at night. Faint warmth from a street light nearby. Relaxed, neutral expression. Simple, oversized tee and loose pants caught mid-moment with a light handheld camera feel. You could do something like a minor motion blur on one edge, mild overexposure, no professional lighting. Let's just see what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and paste that right in here. And I'm going to go ahead and do a 16:9. But you'll see here, there's no reference image. I'm going to create an AI character without a reference image so we can see what that looks like, okay? And now that's generating. So while that's generating, let's go back and see the one that I just created myself. Look at this, all right? Remember, this was my reference image, okay? I'll open that big. And here we now have an anime version of myself as a character. What do you guys think? Did it do a pretty good job? Obviously, my outfit's a lot different, but we did say to use, what did we say for the outfit? Modern streetwear outfit, okay? I wasn't as detailed. I just said something modern streetwear. And then here I am right here. What do you guys think? That's cool, right? Look at that. You got the glasses, got the hat. And if I jump back over here, here I am. You know, I might want to live in this world. I look like the cool guy over here, you see? So that's what's awesome, is that you could turn yourself into an animated character. Now, before you create all the other shots, which I'm going to show you now, because what we want to do is create multiple scenes of where this character is going to be. But my first step was, hey, let me just envision this character on a gradient background to see what it looks like. And then I can use this as my reference point to create my next scene in the video. But in this case, I just wanted to see what it looks like. But if you don't like the outfit, you don't like the hat, you don't like the chains on the pants or whatever it is, now's the time to make those types of adjustments, okay? You could do that, right? So like I can come over here and remix this particular image and remix it as an image again, okay? And right here, you're gonna see I can type right in here, and I'm gonna maybe change the color of the outfit to something a little bit more modern looking and remove the chains that are on the pants. I'm just giving you an example of how you can use a prompt to now adapt an image that you already created if you want to fine tune it, okay? I'm probably going to use that one as is, but I want you to see that if just because you don't get the first time the result that you don't want, you could always make a change, okay? And that's what I want you to understand in this piece of it. So I created my character, now I'm making an adjustment to that character. Check this out. Here's the other image. Got this outfit, that outfit, okay? So before I jump around, I wanted you to see how I took the outfit from this one that we came up with a character. I wanted to see what it would look like. I said, switch up the colors, take out the chain. What do you guys think? Should I go with the new one or should I go with the first one that was generated? Which one should I use as the character for the rest of the images? First one, second. All right. I think they're both cool. Maybe for hip, let's go with the first one, right? Go ahead and drop it in the chat. Let me know, anybody else. And then just to finish what I was trying to show you here, I realized that I didn't put the style. So I got a casual, candid. I'm going to go here and say like a anime clay motion style photo of a young musician. So now I'm adding the style inside of it. I'm not going to we got to take out like the whole realistic stuff in here. I forgot that all of this information was in there. So let's just do that and see what it comes up with. Now remember, there's no reference image here. We are trying to recreate this particular image in an example, but just again, with no reference, and you just got to be detailed. Now, I didn't do it, but I could have come down here as an example and selected anime, right? And what's cool with that is that with my prompt, you're going to see down here, it says included with your prompt, it's the style anime. So anytime if you write a prompt of a scene or something you're describing, and now you want to keep going and see like, okay, is there any extra elements that I want to add inside of my visual? You can use some of these toggles to add that in there as well. Check this out. Here it is. So now I've got like anime clay style vibe. It's a character, but look how it kind of feels like almost a realistic scene, yet it's still, it's a character. It's like clay motion type vibe. And you got him standing against the wall. That compared to the original that I did from scratch, but did a realistic shot versus putting in a small detail of doing a candid anime clay motion style, you could see what that looks like. And so this very well could become my character that I now use to create multiple videos for scenes. Now, let's go ahead and go with the first character as an example. So now what I want to do is I want to create a scene, the first scene of a video with this particular character. I'm going to go ahead and hit remix. And now what I want to do is I actually want to create another image because I want to create the scene for where this person is. Now, you could jump directly to video. I could take that image, go to video and describe all the changes, but then you have less creative control over how these scenes are going to look like. And this way you get all the control because we're going to do the scenes first, like in this example. And so I'm going to paste a prompt that I have in here and I'm going to read it to you now, but I'm going to go ahead and just hit generate so we can have that running. And I'm going to go ahead and edit that image. Okay. But in this one, I'm pretty much saying the same cel shaded anime character from the reference image standing on a city rooftop at sunset, half body hero composition, wind blowing through their hair, dramatic orange and magenta sky behind them. Distant neon signs starting to glow on buildings, matching the illustrated style of the reference image. I'm pretty much just like, I could have done the same thing and just said, hey, place this subject on the rooftop, make sure it looks exactly like the subject and have city streets in the background. Like you could just be as casual as you want with the prompts, right? Now, one thing this did, and maybe I wasn't specific, but it gave me hair. I don't know if everybody's noticed, but I do not have hair and I don't know why it did that, right? So I could do two things. If I really like this image, I could just remix and edit it and say, hey, the guy's bald. I know, Spidey hair. But in this case, I'm going to read through the prompt and see, hey, where did I mess up in this prompt? Okay, I could just redo it again and I could say, do not add hair to the subject. He is bald, but keep the cap on, right? Oops, if I could spell. Sometimes it can misinterpret what you say. So I'm just putting that little detail in there of like, hey, guy has no hair. Don't add to it. And you'll notice what I like to do with prompting. Don't mention a person's name. Like, don't say, hey, Bruno Mars or Sebastian or whoever it is, right? Because it could get rejected. Okay, so you want to be cautious, especially if a lot of us here work in the music industry, you work with intellectual property. A lot of these things have protection. So if you have the right to be able to use it, you just need to be able to understand how to prompt. Or even if you're yourself, like you can mention your own name, like Florence, and sometimes it might not do it. So I typically like to say, hey, the character or the subject, or if you've got multiple people in the image, you could say the female subject, the male subject as an example, or the subject with the hat and the glasses as an example. Okay. Talk to it like you're explaining to someone like you're on it, right? You can kind of see what I mean by that. And look at that. I did the prompt again. I'm back almost to my normal self as a character. I don't got Spidey hair on me right now, right? So I just did the first scene, but I need to do another scene now, right? So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to use my same reference image. Okay, here's what's great. And I'm just going to go ahead and replace this with another prompt. And I'm going to say I'm walking confidently down a neon lit street at night, right? Go ahead, quality. Actually, I don't even need 2K. I'm just going to do 1K, 60 by 9. Perfect. So now I'm generating a second scene using my reference image. And for the interest of time, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate. So I'm doing now the third scene that I have. Let me read the two scenes that we're doing right now, okay? Here's the second one that I had just done. And essentially what I said was, hey, the same cel-shaded anime character from the reference image walking confidently down a neon lit street, full body side tracking shot, reflective wet pavement, pink and neon signs. So you can see how it kind of described the character in this particular shot, right? You've got this scene where they're on the rooftop. You've got this scene with a side shot. So you can see it tried to keep and maintain what the jacket looks like, the hat and everything from that side view. Look at the chain down here. And if I come over here, you see you got the chain still hanging, and look at the consistency on it. Now, if you ever want to have a lot more consistency for, like, I know that if I turn my head to the right, I might look a little bit different than if I turn my head to the left, right? We're not all completely symmetrical, okay? Some people might be, not all of us, right? And so the predictability could be more accurate if in my initial reference photo, I uploaded a shot of me looking forward, I uploaded a side shot, I uploaded my other side of the shot, and I said, all right, this is the person's character. Now create this animated version showing all 3 shots. You could do that so you can get more accurate results if you want your side shot to look exactly the way that you do, okay? Maybe we'll cover that in a different session. And look, here's the third one, okay? We got a third scene. It's like the character from the reference image floating weightless in a vast star field, half body composition, cherry blossom petals. Now we've got like our scenes for a video, okay? I've got this one, then he's walking down the street, and then all of a sudden I'm like jamming to music with like the orbits all around me, okay? Bear with me, okay? We're not talking about a specific storyline here. We're trying to see how we can come up with characters and scenes, and then later we can touch on how to come up with ideas for these scenes, right? So if we have these 3 scenes, I'm going to go ahead now. What we're going to do is we're going to turn each one into a video, and then I'm going to create another style of a character for myself so that you can see what that looks like while the videos are generating. First off, let's start with the first one. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take these visuals and we're going to turn them into motion video, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and remix this first scene. And again, when I click remix, now I can turn this into a motion video, okay? So I click on motion video, and what's great is that it automatically took my video and loaded it here in the left sidebar, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into a video. Now, there's 2 ways that I could turn this into a video. I could write a prompt, or I could just click this little magic icon, okay? Some of us don't know how to come up with some of these prompts, so don't worry about it. Just use the magic icon. And we're going to do the same for the other videos. So let me go ahead and remix this video into a motion video. And then while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and hit the magic icon. And then the third one, we're going to go back to this one, turn it into a motion video, delete that, and hit the magic icon. Now what we're doing, we're analyzing the image itself to come up with an idea for a motion prompt for the scene. We're going to use Google Veo 3.1 Flash. It's 8 seconds long. I'm going to disable audio because, again, if you're going to put music behind this, you don't need audio, right? We could disable it. But if you want to have audio, you can enable it. And then I'm going to do aspect ratio 16:9. And then I'll go ahead and hit generate. If I show you this prompt, you're going to see it's a really long prompt. I didn't have to come up with this. You didn't have to come up with this because inside of visuals, there's a button that will automatically analyze your image. Also, I could have typed a prompt and then used the magic icon to come up with a more detailed prompt for me. So that's the great thing, is that you don't need to understand how to prompt if you don't want to. Now for this one, because we're remixing it, I've already got my prompt. I'm going to go ahead here, 16:9 aspect ratio. I'm going to hit generate. And now I'm going to go to the third image for the scene because the prompt's done, and disable audio. And down here, I'm going to go and select a 16:9 aspect ratio and hit generate. So again, I've got 3 videos now being generated with my character, and you'll notice that I'm using a lot. I use Google Veo 3.1 Flash. It's a little bit faster, but it's also great quality and can do a lot of great things. Okay, it has great character consistency. You can add reference images inside of it. You can do multiple cut scenes if you wanted to. If I prompted it, I didn't prompt it in this case. So you can say, hey, in the first 2 seconds, you see a side shot, and then it zooms into like a whatever shot, and you have a dolly camera zoom. You've got all these ideas that you could do with it, right? When you need something much higher quality, you could go to Veo 3.1. Okay, it's going to take a little bit longer, but you can get better results with it. But I see for a lot of first use cases and drafts, you can use 3.1 Flash. So we got now 3 videos in the making. Can we add our own voice or a clone of our voice? Great question. So right now you cannot add your own voice to these. There is a section, actually not through here, inside of our video editor, but we're still refining it. But yes, you could theoretically, if you have your, let's say, a 30-second snippet of you talking or singing, you can drop that in and merge it with the image, and it'll come up with a video version of it. Okay, you can't do it in this flow, so they're just 2 completely different models. We are working on ways later so that you can do this in a much more turnkey way. Can you build out several characters that could then interact in a scene? Absolutely. It's the same way that I'm doing it here. I could take, and maybe we could try that. Actually, I'll show you that shortly, but you can put together multiple people inside of one particular. So here I am, I'm kind of pacing. I'm inside of a rooftop. And here I am, right? Look at that. And then the second one, I'm walking down the street. Look at that. You kind of see what's going on. And then again, I could have directed this to be walking a different direction, going a different way. Maybe I want the pacing to be a little bit different. All right. And then last but not least, we have the third one. I'm just kind of like chilling there. You got the music playing in the background. The idea behind it is supposed to be music behind the background. And there you go. So we have now 3 particular scenes you can do for a video as an example. Let me see, there's a question in the chat. Not being mean, but if we can't make the character talk, what is the point of these videos? So that's a great question. I'm showing you a lot of examples right now where you don't need talking in these videos, because the idea is that for an artist, a label, you can actually put your music behind this and people are actually enjoying the music, but having scenes to go along with the music, meaning that we don't need these particular videos to have talking inside of it. Okay. Now, if you don't want to use your voice, if I enable audio, okay, in here as an example, and I enable audio generation as part of my video, I can say for the script, have the character say, and then type whatever it is you want in terms of a character, right? And so you can have it say whatever you want. And I probably have some examples. It's just that in this particular session, right, we're not covering doing talking videos. In this particular session, we're doing a different one. And yeah, I'll try one. Just stay till the end. I'm going to get through some of these. And what I'll do is I'll just throw one in with a script so you can see what something like that looks like. It could be something like an animated music video of a character talking and promoting their new album coming out on Spotify and Apple Music. Make sure the character is talking and the lips are in sync. I'm making up a quick example. I just want to see what it comes up with. I'm going to drop that in here. 8 seconds long, AI generation. And I'm going to do 16:9. And I'll hit generate. I'm going to let that run. We can see what that looks like live. Okay. So you guys can see what a talking video looks like. But now what I want to do is also show you as an example. Let's do another style. I promised you guys that we would do multiples. And so the next one we're going to do is kind of like a 3D toy style. And I'm going to upload my image in this example. Again, because again, what I want to do is turn my particular photo, or if you have an artist, you can turn their image into it. But we're going to see what it looks like with a completely different style. So now what we're doing is we are creating, and I'm going to duplicate this one so you can see what that looks like. Because what I want to do is do a second option as an example. So I've got this toy character style. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remix this one because I've got the character that I want. Now that I'm remixing it, you'll see I added it here as a reference image, which is awesome. But you can see I just created that. I've got myself. By the way, check it out. I don't know if you guys see, but now you've got me as this. And look, it even brought my microphone. I'm in the clouds, okay? Standing on a fluffy pastel cloud floating in a dream sky. You've got me there. It's got my gray shirt, my hat, my glasses, and then you've got the microphone right there. I mean, how cool is that? Sebastian is cotton candy. Yeah, that's gonna be like my profile bio. That's it. So the same 3D pop, I got to take out the name just to be clear. When you start adding like names or copyright, I just don't suggest it, but you want like the style of it, right? And so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and hit that. Now we're going to see what that particular one looks like. Would we be able to do this with a logo or even a page out of a book? Yes, you can. You could do this with a logo or a page out of a book. Just take a picture or a screenshot, drop that as a reference image. And a logo, you can do that as well. You can drop the logo in here and come up with an idea with that particular logo. Easy to take a text article and generate audio with 11 Labs to get an MP3 and then bring that in. Absolutely. You could do that as well. It's a great idea. Or you do a voiceover MP3 and bring that in the characters with the videos and scenes. You can't do any else. Let me see. Yeah, so you could do a voiceover. You could bring it from another third-party platform. It's not in this session, but in our video editor, we have connections with 11 Labs as well as Gemini and OpenAI's voice models. So you could actually generate audio inside of our video editor. We don't publicize it. It's not something we're pushing at the moment, but theoretically right now you can create these voiceovers directly in there. The other one, let's see what else. Could you see animating character or characters from kids' books with visuals? Absolutely. It's just like, if you look at this right here, and I even do this with my daughter, we come up with characters inside of visuals and we animate it and she uses them. And it's like her way of like expressing the creativity, or I create it for my daughter. And look at this, like I just created myself walking through this world. This literally, even if it wasn't me, it was someone else, could be a visual inside of a book or a character, right? I've got here me talking on the crowd. Now I'm walking through, like you could see what that toy star style looks like, right? Can you turn yourself into an animal character and keep it as consistent? Yeah, I haven't tried it, but let's try that live. I'm just going to Do it right now with you, all right? Turn this character into an animal character, but ensure that all the facial features are intact so that the animal looks like the character inside of this image. So we could just literally do something like that. I put my image, and you can see how I spoke out loud just to give it an idea. And I'm going to go ahead and edit that image, and we're going to see what it looks like live. Feature request, let us upload a logo icon that is placed on the characters, like a visual, okay, polo shirt logo, coffee cup. That's a great idea. That is not a feature request. That is something I can do right now. One, let's just see what I look like as an animal. Probably not perfect, but you can see how it literally took me and just added hair and turned me into a stuffed animal. What do you guys think? Is that what you guys were hoping for? We could try other variations that looks more like a human animal as well, but here I am now as an animal. So I'm going to go ahead and remix this particular image as an example, and I'm going to go into multi-image mode, and I'm going to go ahead and select an image from my library. So I've got my logo, right? We've got visuals FM as an example, okay? We could use that one as a logo that we're going to throw inside of here. So let's just drag that right here. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take this image that we have that we use as a reference, and I'm going to grab the logo, and I'm going to say recreate the reference image, but add the visuals logo on the subject's shirt. Make it look like it's imprinted on the shirt in a color that stands out. As you can see, like, remix is a big feature that we have inside of visuals, okay? And I encourage everyone to use it, okay? I could remix a person into a character. I could remix a character into an animal. I could use the remix feature to literally do edits on an image, just like if you were talking to a designer or a creative to make edits. Or in this particular case, what I'm doing is I am editing my character, and I wanted to add the visuals logo onto the image, okay? And these are all different things that you can do in different combinations of it so that you can truly get the character, the design, the aesthetics, and the look that you want. And there you have it. Check this out. Look how it threw our logo on the t-shirt, visuals, FM. And I could have said a different color. I could ask it to be smaller. I could put it on the hat. So today you could do this, okay? You can add it in a character and do imprints, and it's something that makes it. And so if I look at my logo, you can see here's the logo, and here's how it added it in. There you have it. I'm gonna go ahead and edit this particular image. What I'm doing is I'm creating the third scene of this like universe. All right, so just as this is generating, just quick recap. We started generating, coming up with a character. I took my image, as you can see, brought it in. We came up with ideas for characters. We did like this anime type style. Here you see we're doing like this, like, you know, pop mart toy 3D kind of character type style, right? You can see that here. And if I keep going, you see there's a more zoomed out. You've got now me as an animal. You've got me with the visuals logo on it. And then we'll just give this a second. And there you go. Now I've got two new scenes, but look at this, right? I did it twice. Here's the first one that I did. And then I was like, you know what? I want to put the visuals logo on it. And there you go. Different scene because of the prompt. I didn't specify. And here I am with the visuals logo. And fun fact for y'all, I got turntable here, I've got a saxophone here and a piano. So I was a DJ for 10 years. I played saxophone for like almost 10 years as well. So this is pretty cool that it got it into the scene. So now we've got these videos, we want to turn them into a motion video. Let's go ahead and do that now, okay? Let's grab 3 different scenes. I'm going to go ahead and let's start with the first one, turn that one into a motion video, okay? Now again, what I said earlier, I could literally leave it like that, and let's just hit the prompt. It's going to write a prompt from scratch. All it's doing is it's coming up with an idea of how to turn that into a motion video. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this twice. The reason I duplicate the tabs is so that in a new tab, I can animate another scene. So the second one we're going to grab is the second video that we did. Here it is. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the magic prompt so that it can do some motion for me. I'm going to use 16:9, and then I need to go back to my images again and grab the last one. This is me on the bed as a motion video. Okay, let's go ahead and animate this one. Now remember, AI might not give you what you want on the first try, okay? We give you a great starting point, but if you really want something to happen in the scene, like for the objects to fly, for the teddy bear to come to life, for the vinyl on the record table to move, you have to describe that, because as you can see here, I'm not describing that specifically, okay? I'm just going with what the model came up with, what our AI platform did to come up with an idea for that scene, which is great. If you just have no idea what you want it to do, great, rely on it. But if you have an idea of what you want, you should specify that here in the prompt. And that goes in any AI tool. It doesn't matter whether it's here on visuals or anywhere else. It's not a mind reader, okay? So you can either rely on the prompts and the ideas that come up in here, and it gets you a great start, and you might love it, or you're going to take that as inspiration and come up with something brand new. Questions so far? I like that you have a video or image generating while working on the next asset. Yes. Yeah, guys, I jump around a lot, but I do it because, time is money for all of us, right? And I want to make sure we optimize that. We generate as much content as we can. And so if I could do a couple in parallel, that's why I like to jump around. And while this is loading, let's go ahead and watch the talking video.
A new album is available now. Go stream it on Spotify and Apple Music.
How cool is that? So as you see here, we literally asked it and we came up with it. And I came up with this on the fly with all of you on the call, right? An animated music video of a character talking and promoting their new album coming out on Spotify and Apple Music. Make sure the character is talking and the lips are in sync. The script should be no more than 10 to 12 words, right? And I say 10 to 12 words because it's an 8-second video. You don't want it to be this long rant. And look at that. And it came up with it. I could have done this I did it with this character. I could do it with one of my characters. You could do it with a realistic photo. It doesn't even matter, right? Because you can add talking in here and there it is, right? What do you guys think? Is that what you're looking for? Is this something that would help? Go ahead, drop it into the chat for me, please. So let me zoom that out. Let's refresh. Can the characters lip sync an audio file like a song that we upload? In this scenario, you can't. And we do have a way where you can, again, upload your audio and it can lip sync it. Let's say you're doing like a 15-second or 30-second clip. It'll apply the lip syncing. But there's a new one that we are working on. So again, I don't want to give a time estimate, but soon you'll be able to just literally import your music or even a talking video and we'll perfectly lip sync it to any image or any video source. So that's coming soon. If you have an existing 8-second video and want to add that to a new video, how would you do that? I'll show you that shortly because we're going to do that now to merge some of these clips together into a video. So I want to show you what that looks like. Let me pull up the ones that we just did. Look at this one. Here I am talking on a microphone. Now, again, I could have said, hey, don't talk. I think it made me start talking because you got the microphone in the scene. So it thinks like, I should just do a podcast show with a scene that looks exactly like this, right? And then last but not least, here's this one with a looping canvas video on the bed. And here I am. What do you think? Now, there was one more video, but I wonder what happened. Okay. So, hey, sometimes this happens, okay? Some of the AI model companies like Google Veo 3.1 or some of the others, they're very strict with either the image that you have in the scene or prompts, and sometimes it can get rejected. Anytime you see something like this, credits are automatically returned to your account. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. But something either in the image or maybe in the prompt, and it's probably because it says Pixar adjacent. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Like, you don't want to put names of like a copyrighted person or like Pixar or Disney. You want to describe what you're talking about. And sometimes we throw that in there and that could have been the thing that caused it. So I'm going to try it now with just that one removal and see if it still goes through. If it doesn't, I just might have to make a lot more changes to it. So what do we do now? Okay. While this is generating, I have a couple scenes, couple videos. Now what I want to do is combine all of these elements to put it together in a video. Now, for the music videos, you're going to see something here that's called lyric videos. Okay. This is a type of video that you would use, whether it's a lyric video, whether you're trying to create a music video, or again, if you're not doing anything with music, but you're trying to combine multiple videos together to create one final video. Like for example, earlier someone said that you have an existing 8-second video and you want to add that to a new video. You could do that here with the lyric video flow. Okay. And maybe we'll rename this and change how that is so that it could show you these different scenarios. But I'm going to pull this up, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a song from my library. So let's say I pull up the song. Okay, let's try this one. Let's say This Is Real, Disappear. I'll try that one. So now that I've selected my song, okay, and by the way, if you don't have a song, you could throw in like a podcast or audio file in there, and then you'll skip to this step, okay? I'll come in here, and now I have two options. I can either select videos or media from my library, or I could generate something new. And I've got obviously other options, but like I'm not going to create something new because I already did that, right? So I'm going to come here and go to my library. When you go to your library, you're going to see all the images and videos that you've created. Okay. And in this particular case, I want to grab the videos that we did. So we're going to start now with let me just sort with video, and I'm going to go ahead and select the 3 videos. 1, 2, 3. I'm selecting these 3 videos and I'm going to go ahead and hit next. When I get here, now what we do is we present you the audio that you put at the beginning. So like, for example, this particular song, and you can either do the full length song or you can edit it if you're like, hey, I just want to get the verse, and you can just kind of position it where you want. or you can use AI to automatically detect the chorus or the verse or the best moment for you. Okay. All those options work, and they work great so that you can see, I'm just going to go ahead and hit chorus, and it'll automatically analyze the audio. It'll go through it, and then it'll tell you which is the best moment that you can use in this particular case, because I'm asking for the chorus. Then you select the aspect ratio. You can select the duration. So like in this particular case, because all my videos are 8 seconds long, I'm just going to move that to 8 seconds. You could preview. So here it is. It's an electronic dance track, so a little bit different, but I've got that going in there. Reframing, so you get an idea what happened here. Let's say your video was landscape, but you're trying to do a portrait video. We could reframe the video in this step. It uses AI to come up with what the rest of the video would have looked like. And then we have animations. So for example, I'm going to do a hard fade in, let's say, right? And so what that's going to do is every video that it plays, it's going to do it on a loop, because I only selected 3 videos, and it's going to fade between all the videos. And then what's cool is that we have a lyric video feature, so you can actually put captions on the screen. I'm going to leave it, but I don't think this song has lyrics, so it's not the best example for a lyric video, but I'll show you if any lyrics do appear, and you can see what that looks like. In that step where I was selecting an asset from my library, there's an upload button. So you can upload the 8-second video that you already have in there before you get to this step to add to your library. While this is generating, I think I just missed showing it to you, so I'll pull it up quickly so you can see what that looks like if I come to my library. And here it is. So you click this upload button, and it'll choose a file from your computer, or literally you can drag a file right in here. You don't have to wait. So if I take like this particular video, I just dragged one from my computer, and here it is. You'll see the video there, and now you can select the video that you added to your library. It doesn't have to be one note. Now I've got the video, and here it is inside of a video editor, okay? After we create the video for you, if you look, these are all the videos, the scenes that we generated, but because the video is almost 45 or 50 seconds long, but I only put 3 videos and they're 8 seconds each, what we do is we loop back to the first video, and we just keep looping the videos for the duration of the video. If you want unique scenes all throughout, then in this case, I should have created 6 or 7 scenes in order to create the full video. But honestly, with a lot of like music visualizers or content you can put on YouTube, you could just loop one video if you wanted to, and that could be a piece of content, or do only a couple scenes and then put that on a loop. So let's see what this looks like. So by the way, the caption, because the song doesn't have a lot of voice, like you can see the lyrics, it's just repeating, and that's why it's staying on the screen. But again, if you have a full song, or even if it was a talking video, this would be dynamic and moving, but you do get access to move it around. You can adjust it. You can edit the lyrics right here in line, and you can edit all these styles. We have presets, a whole length of styles of different ways you can visualize your lyrics or captions. You can just kind of select them through here. So any questions on this so far? That makes sense. What do you guys think? Is that helpful so far? You can mix video and pictures in the same video. Yes, you can. So what would happen is it would be just like this. And if you do mix pictures and videos, I would probably do a Ken Burns effect, because Ken Burns will do motion on the image, like a slideshow, moving slideshow, and then the video. So you can mix both images and videos here in the canvas, as well as like dropping videos from our stock video library or image library if you need to add more footage inside of there as well. So great question. And I'll show you if I grab another lyric video flow and I do another song. And you know, because we just did these cute videos, I'm going to go ahead and grab 2 of them so you can see. But by the way, like we have images, like this is an image. I could have mixed an image in here. I'm not going to do it in this case, but you could. But I'm going to grab these 2 videos and just grab 30 seconds. We'll do like a faster pace, maybe just 4-second loop, and see what that looks like. I'll fade it, and why not? We'll show lyrics. That's perfect. And click create. So you can see here, like once you get into the rhythm, you create your scenes. First you create the character, then you create some of the scenes for what you want it to be in. You can create the videos to turn those scenes into video. And then we have a flow that automatically lets you combine all these elements that you created all into one video, and then you can render that and export it as an MP4 directly from here as well. So you can now post that on YouTube, or if you're doing social media content, you can do it on TikTok, Instagram, or any one of those platforms. And this is the last one I'll be able to show, just because I know we're off on time. So I appreciate everyone who's staying on. All right, so you can see here now I've got on my timeline. Let's see what I look like. Press play. There's a Spanish song, so you could see here, you've got me. Look at me with my visual shirt, by the way, right? Which, by the way, I got to make some gear, so we got that going. So remember, I only took 2 videos. It's just looping between the 2 videos. In this case, I could have said, hey, I didn't want him talking, right? Maybe they could have done some other action or emotion or something like that. But this just gives you an idea of how we can now take any character and piece it together all in one flow. Let me see the last question. I'm trying to picture having existing graphics with captions to turn into a video with a voiceover. Maybe we could try that in another session. You could do that. You could take pictures with graphics and turn those into videos as well. Almost doing like slideshow style as well. It just depends on the type of visuals or graphics you have and what they look like. I don't think I showed you guys the clay style, but this just kind of gives you an idea of what the clay version, the clay motion style would look like if we went down that rabbit hole and created some of those visuals. Is there a reference somewhere with the different style caption options listed? You could see that in the video editor. So if I go to create and I just click on video, you bypass the lyric video flow altogether. I could just create a brand new project as an example. So if you want to see all the different styles, you can upload a video from scratch so you can take a look at them. So you would see it here in the presets. We have 68 templates right now. So you can kind of look through what they look like. And again, you can click them and preview them live. They also animate differently too. This is the one that, okay, this is a bad example for a video. But even then, even if you don't like one of the options that we have, you could customize everything about the captions. The colors, the font weight, the alignment, the height, the animation of how it comes in and out. I can reduce the size, make it larger, even select from different fonts if you wanted to. And then we have different styles for colors, the highlight effects, the background colors. And so this just gives you, and if you know custom CSS, you can actually drop custom CSS in here for your captions. So very flexible, but most of the presets usually take care of a lot of use cases that you can play with. And then you can just edit and refine them once you're done by going in here. We don't support uploading fonts yet. That's a great question. We've had some requests for that as well, but we do have a ton of fonts in here. So there's got to be probably at least 50 or 100 different fonts. We are considering how we can upload fonts, custom fonts in here, and we're thinking about that heavily as it comes to like brand and managing that across your organization. So good question. Thank you, everyone. It's been a pleasure today. Again, if you're on YouTube, go ahead, like, subscribe, share this with everyone. If you haven't signed up yet, please go on ahead to visuals.fm. Go ahead and sign up, give it a shot. As soon as you sign up, you'll get 100 free credits so that you could at least give a try and play around with it, try to do some generations, create some characters. Once you create some characters, please, I want you to drop it into the community. I want you to share it with us. I want to see the content that you are creating. For those of you lifetime customers, don't worry, we have not put out the codes yet. It's in progress. We're just trying to make sure everything is in sync so that once you onboard, everything's working properly. We will send out a note about that. I appreciate it. This tutorial is for all of you. So again, I'm Sebastian. I'm the CEO and co-founder of visuals.fm. If you ever need anything at all, please never hesitate to reach out. Thank you all so much for your time, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you, everyone.